today we're looking at a model we already looked at in a previous video, but it has been considerably upgraded since then. So we will take a look at all the upgrades today and some of it, and just the details, if you haven't seen the last video. So basically, this model is a Mercedes AMG G63 6x6. It's a very long name, and originally I had planned on building a Hennessy Velociraptor 6x6, which is a very just tougher truck than this one. This is a really tough truck, and the Velociraptor is an even tougher looking truck with the Ford Raptor body and all that. But it's a very difficult truck to build, so I'm still working on design for that one. But in the meantime, I figured that this the Mercedes G63 is a much easier model to build, obviously, because it's very square, which makes it perfect to build in Lego. And so we started with building that one first, and we ended up with this model right here, and I think it looks pretty good. We're just going to go over all different features and some upgrades. So in front here, we obviously have some, turn this around a little bit. We have some brush guards here made up there. We fixed up the front end, so this metal skid plate, which was not in the original one, is showing. Also a more sort of realistic grill down here. Or not, it's not a grill, it's more of just whatever it is down here. Looks more realistic. And we got the lights in there. You take these brush guards off if you don't like them. We have these little turn signals up on top now, and they're supposed to be tiles. I just didn't have any 1x1 clear tiles at the moment. And the hood now has a slope to it, which makes it look much more realistic. And the rear view mirrors, typically they would be in white, and I only had parts for them in black, so they're in black right now, and they're a bit difficult to see against the windows, but they've been upgraded and look a lot more realistic since the last version of the model. One thing you might notice is that the entire truck has been raised up by one stud, and while it looks a bit funny in the front, looks pretty good in the back to me, because this is a truck with extremely high ground clearance, and so I think it's much better, much bigger upgrade, much better upgrade. And if you go along the side here, we have the same pretty much back here. Looks quite similar, except that we have a little bar down here. There are two bars on the real one to prevent, because this truck is so big, to prevent another car from crashing in and just sliding underneath it. There's a bar down here. Two bars in the real thing, but you can only fit one on this one because basically the Lego proportions are kind of funny. And in the back here we have the spare tire holder, which is kind of custom, just like a Baja truck sort of off-roader upgrade bit I made myself. Roll bars aren't like that; they don't have a sort of kink in the center that the real one does, but this is a simplified version, and I couldn't find any really good way to make it do it like that. And they are in black here, but I think they will look better in a light bluish gray. They look more like the real thing, more metal looking. And if you look underneath, yeah, basically quite a lot of reinforcement down here. A lot of plates stacked on top of each other. We have these little exhaust pipes down here, and these are all, I think these exhaust pipes are, if you look at certain pictures of a G63 6x6, then they're in certain, they're there on some, they're not there on others. I think some have the exhaust just comes out underneath. On some tuned versions, they have the exhaust in different places, but I think typically they're in the middle here somewhere, and they might only be on one side in some models, or at some certain tuned up ones and things like that. But another considerable upgrade is on the interior. And the interior, originally you couldn't even open the roof up on this thing, so you couldn't put any minifigures inside it. So we've changed that. So basically, you can see there's this 2x2 tile, or 2x2 set of studs up there. Basically, we'll take a brick. Let me get a brick here. Any brick, or 2x2, 2x1, 1x2 brick, or bigger or smaller. Just lightly connect it on the studs there and pull it up, and the roof comes off. And this roof here is a modified design, so it's a bit weaker than the standard roof I would do for this model. But this one's to fit minifigures with larger hair pieces and just taller minifigures in general and things like that. And we have upgraded seats. As you can see, they're not entirely finished by the way they are. There's supposed to be some plates in there. Basically, I will take this front part off here. So you would do this if you're gonna try and put some minifigures in there. Take these parts off of there, and you can see we have basically a whole dashboard. Hold on, let me get that dashboard, steering wheel, seats, and I say the white seats look pretty good. Nice, fancy looking interior, like a upgrade. And we got a minifigure here to demonstrate how the seating works. Now the seats do look a bit tall, the front seats, but they're actually a bit shorter almost than a minifigure. So, and this minifigure with a tactical vest can fit in the seat. A standard minifigure with no tactical vest can recline and rest on the headrest. So that works pretty well. We'll put the roof back on there, and it is a fairly solid design there with this plate system. So you can push fairly hard with the brick into the roof, and it won't come out. It won't dislodge anything inside. Just like get this in there, and there is enough friction in there that if you turn it upside down, right now this minifigure is, like I said, a bit tall, so the roof does stick up a little bit, but there is enough friction in there so you can turn it upside down and the roof won't come out. Also, I should point out that there are these Speed Champions hubcap bits in there because they make it look a bit more realistic than Lego's tires. On this side, they're the standard Lego tires. This is a pretty big upgrade here on this side. Also, one more interesting thing I thought I'd point out. If you ever watched Top Gear, they had a very famous review of this 6x6, and they said that you could stick. It was so big you could stick your head in between the fender and the wheel. So old model did not have that capability, and this one, because it is lifted, I found, yeah, you can technically stick a minifigure's head between the wheels. So yeah, that's to scale. I get, no, not exactly to scale, you know, but still pretty massive compared to a minifigure. More like really just kind of like a monster truck. But really, this is scaled up to the. You probably thought this when you saw the video at first. You're thinking, wait, that looks way too big for minifigure scale. And if you think the 8 wide Speed Champions are too big, yeah, this thing was going to be way too big, because in theory this should only be 6 studs wide, and this is 4 studs more than that. So really, I'll get a Speed Champions 8 stud wide car. Look at this Ferrari F8 Tributo right here, and it looks reasonable compared to right next to it. It looks pretty realistic, I'd say, because basically this car right here, this is up to this guy's neck, and roughly the pickup bed on this thing is supposed to be up to this guy's neck if you compare it to a real 6x6. So if you count not to minifigure scale to get rid of this guy, but it's to the new 8 wide Speed Champion scale, so it looks pretty good next to them. So it's not exactly minifigure scale, but it still looks pretty good as it looks small enough to be a minifigure scale model. And that's it for today's video. And instructions, I should say instructions will be available for this model once I modify my instructions to all these new upgrades. And so thanks for watching, and see you later.